Bongo. This is the Bingo Bango Bongo podcast, and we are here with one of our favorite uncles, Uncle Jerry Gissel, is going to chat with us today. We get to hear all about his life story and who he is, what he's about, and how we're going to carry on the legacy of Dick and Jackie Gissel. I am Josh Gissel. This is
Jackson Gissel.
And we're here to share all the life stories of the Gissel family and beyond. Each and every time that we get together, we need to do these things more often. We tend to do them every other year, it feels like. But we need to try to bring it to you more frequently. And we're so excited to be able to chat with Uncle Jerry. Thank you for meeting with us today, buddy.
Well, you're happy to?
We're super happy. I'm
pumped.
stoked about
That's
it.
what I've been waiting for all week.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So fire away.
Yeah. All right. We'll get into it. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So to start it off, we just kind of want to start off at what your kind of earliest memories are and what it was like growing up in the Gissel household with Grandma and Grandpa Gissel.
Okay, well, we can start with the first one, and that is I drove a car in a swimming pool. Do you guys know about that?
Yeah, we've
Tell
heard the
us
story,
about
but we
that.
want to hear your point of view of it.
Well,
We got Grandpa's point of view, but we'd like to know from the driver of the vehicle what happened.
well, obviously, I don't remember that.
Right.
But the funny thing about this whole thing is that um, my my dad was moving. They're going to be moving here, and so they stopped at a hotel, and everybody was tired, and it was just we had my brother Rick, and then Mike, and then me. Um, we're at the hotel, and my mom takes me into the hotel, takes me and with my two brothers, and I guess I'm wasted. I'm sleepy or whatever, but so the next day with that because they were just making the stop to come here to Arizona, but they were so my mom had picked me up because I was still sleeping, and then she walked me out to the car where we parked the car. Well, actually, she gave him to my dad. Um, put me in the back seat of the car, and locked locked the doors, had the window down a little bit so I could breathe, and my my mom is getting Rick and Mike ready, so getting them dressed, and then we're going out the we're going out the door with those two, my mom and dad were, and my my dad goes, "Honey, look at that car coming down the mountain, down the hill." And she goes, "That's our car, and the baby's in it."
Oh, no.
And then into the pool. And it was apparently floating for a while. But my dad, the funny thing about my dad is he goes to the edge of the pool, and he doesn't want to jump in because it's too cold.
The water's too cold. You kids get out.
My
I
dad
ain't
says
going
he's
in.
going to push him out and push him in. So the car's still kind of floating a little bit, but it's starting to go down. And so my dad jumps in, and he's trying to figure out because we had door lock. So he's trying to maneuver that, and then he realizes I can't do it. It's locked.
Yeah.
So then he notices that the window was down like this. So he reaches in and unlocks the door, which was fine, but because of the pressure of the water, he couldn't open the door.
Pull it open. Yeah.
So he rolls the window down and pulls me out, and then so I was made national attention because of me.
Yeah.
And that was because I thought I was cool. But I don't remember any of it.
No.
But yeah, so that's probably the first thing that you get. Well, actually, let's go back to before that happened. I was younger.
Okay.
That's when my mom
Now,
brought
how
me home.
old were you? Wait, do you know approximately how old you were when you did the pool thing? Well,
Yeah, I was a year and a half.
only a year and a half, and we have to go earlier than that now for the first thing. Okay.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is that my so yeah, so that happens, and I got off track here, um, and I can't really remember what I was about ready to say on this, but Oh, so so my mom. This is in reference to feeding me
Okay.
and trying to take care of me,
Sure.
and I was always jumping in everybody's face. I was always like pinching people's, that kind of stuff, and
The
yeah,
antagonizer.
yeah. Well, yeah, they're watching TV, and then I would go up behind like Mike or Rick, and they got their head on the pillow, and I would pull the pillow out, and I didn't want to watch TV. I wanted them to play with me, and so that was one of the adventures of there, and um, then in reference to this wasn't part of, really of our family, but I was. I was riding a bike with this other kid, good friend of mine, and this was when we moved to Tempe. And um, I was 11 at that time, 10 or 11, can't remember. But we were over in Tempe, and we were driving down the street, and um, a car comes by and hits my buddy, hits my kid, or hits my friend,
Mhm.
and um, when they do, he falls off the top of the car, and I'm like freaked out, and I'm going, oh my, what just
Yeah.
happened? And um, by that time, there were people that were stopping to help, and they realized that this lady that was driving the car was drunk,
Oh,
and so no one, they didn't know, and so anyway, she got in trouble. Well,
yeah,
obviously, she went to prison for a while.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was one of the uh, one of the things in my background that bothered me.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um, so that all happened, and then I did do pick up my friend, my my family heads, and I'd turn the TV off, or I'd turn it up, and
And you knew
I
you were
wanted
that
the
guy. You knew I'm the guy that kind of messes around with them,
yeah, I
and
wanted the attention.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, come on, I can't, I don't want to watch this show.
So talking about, you always wanted them to hang out with you and you wanted to mess around with your siblings and everything. You want to tell us some of your favorite stories with your siblings, like favorite story with Rick, favorite story with Mike.
Well, with Rick, it's hard because he doesn't really get you know excited about it, or think it's anything, or whatever. So that one's kind of tough. Mike, I like to pick on
Hmm.
because I didn't understand his who really what happened to him as he was growing up. Um, but yeah, so I would it it really my mom really got mad at me, but Mike would be laying down there, but Rick was there too, laying on their pillow watching it, and I would pull the pillows out, and
Mhm.
and so um, I do that kind of things. And then I had a friend in the neighborhood in Tempe, Devin. Um, he was a year older than me, but we did some really bad things. Um, so yeah, we
Is that the friend that got hit in the car?
huh?
Was Devin the friend that got hit on his bike by the car?
No.
No, that was a
Um,
different friend.
yeah, this is a different guy.
Okay.
But Devin, yeah, Devin, we used to climb up on roofs and throw stuff that would really stink the house up in those pipes that we would get off of.
Stink bombs? You're just dropping stink bombs?
No, it was like just like um, like meat or whatever. They
Oh,
would throw that stuff. Eggs is what
eggs.
eggs was the biggie. They would go, and then of course it was always in the summertime when it
Yeah.
would heat up, and it
Yeah.
would even be
Didn't take
worse.
long for that to start to make it make itself known.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, me and Devin we were
yeah,
pretty
you
bad.
guys are
You were the
now that's
troublemakers.
you and Devin. What about any of your siblings? Did you have one of your siblings that you kind of hung out with? Like, along comes Scott, right? Like now you're not the baby of the family anymore. You've got these younger siblings that come behind you. Is there anybody that you felt like you know, we were pretty close for a while that we kind of buddied up or hung out together quite a bit.
Yeah, Scott would be the person that
Hmm.
that I was not, that I would hang out with. I didn't hang out with Rick
Yeah.
because he was a brain and he was just always on doing his thing. Uh, and then, of course, Mike. Yeah, Mike. And I did. I should have never done what I, as far as making fun of him or whatever.
Yeah.
But he really, um, he touched my heart because he's Mike.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So anyway, um, but I did it to Rick.
Yeah.
I did pull his head up into
Yeah.
his pillow and that kind of thing.
And he
And
just ignored you. Just-
Yeah.
yeah, I was just a punk, is what I was. So anyway, going through that, and then Devin and I being friends, we
Yeah.
we do stupid things, get
Yeah.
up on people's houses, drop eggs down in, and um,
I
we'd
think
get
it's
away with it.
Yeah.
Well, here's one is that behind Devin's house, we were shooting BB guns up against a wooden fence that was where you could drive through the alley there, and there was a little opening to where people would, maybe park a car in there or whatever. But no one ever used that little slot. But so we were shooting BB guns at things, and then they were, we would take a couple shots at them, and then we saw the kid that lived down two houses down from Devon. We were up on the roof at this time, just shooting away at things. And we ended up shooting this kid,
oh
Oh
no.
no.
shooting him, and his mom brought him over and said, "Who did this to my kid?" And we go, "What? What?"
That's so
Because
weird. I have no
yeah,
idea.
we saw that she was coming and she was mad, so we took our rifles and we threw them underneath the. Oh boy,
You know, it is the very definition of irony
yeah,
that you became a cop
Yeah.
it's
later.
exactly what I was gonna say. I
Yeah,
can't.
that's what Grandpa said. He said either Jerry was going to get arrested or he was going to become a cop. That's what
One of the
Grandpa said on
two.
his.
Now,
That's
what about grandma? Do you have a favorite memory or something that maybe a favorite meal that grandma always made that you just love that meal or a favorite thing that she would do that you remember grandma by?
Yeah, well, talking meal wise, she was awesome no matter what, what we had. So it was really hard to distinguish
Mm,
which one you wanted that day or
yeah,
whatever. But yeah, so she was a good cook.
yeah.
Um, I should go back to when I was first born,
Okay.
and my dad wasn't he wasn't there. He was at I can't remember where he was at, but he was with, or my mom was with Grandma Gillette,
Hmm.
and so she had me, and the other two boys, Rick and Mike, they were in their bedroom and they were already over what I was doing,
Mhm.
going through or whatever, and so I would, when I was a baby, I would be in there crying and stuff, and um, for milk or whatever it may be. And um but what happened is that my grandma was in there sleeping in the same bed with my mom because she wanted to help out with me
Hmm.
in my crib after I just got home from the hospital. And while we were in there, so I'm sleeping and they're both sleeping. And then grandma wakes up and she hears this noise. Um, and she goes over to my mom's next to her and she goes, Jackie, 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 there's a pig in the house. There's a pig in the house. Because this is the way I sound. And that's what I was doing on my pillow.
Oh,
So,
she was
so
convinced one of the pigs got into the house.
yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
All right.
got away with a lot of things. But
Yeah. Growing up, you
Yeah.
did.
yeah.
Is there a time where you got caught in one of these things? Like you were saying that you hid the BB guns and everything like that. Was there a time where you were in big trouble or something like that happened?
Well, it was Devin that actually shot the kid and
Mm.
hit him in the belly. And then
And you're
when
still sticking to that story all these years
yeah,
later.
yeah, I know, but it was Devin.
But you were the spotter.
Yeah, that's right. He comes down the
He was
hallway
reading the wind and
because the kid was on his bike,
Yeah.
and they
What are the
shot him.
chances? Yeah.
Yeah. So mom finds out about who did it, but she couldn't confirm it, you
Uh-huh.
know. And we had already saw that she was coming down the. So we took them, put them underneath our couches, so they would. We're like, oh, so we're out playing basketball, like,
Wasn't us.
yeah. Oh, no, we didn't even have guns. What are you talking about? You know? So, yeah, so that was. I don't know how I became a cop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly,
Well,
now that I think about it.
I think Grandpa kind of nailed it. Either
Yeah.
either going to jail or you're going to get into law
Yeah,
enforcement.
well,
One of the two.
exactly.
Yeah. Well,
And
talk about that a little bit. Like what led to ultimately you're like, I think, did you have that moment that you grew up? You're like, I want to be a cop, or was there something that happened that you're like, I think this is the direction I want to go?
well, bringing that up, I still lived in the neighborhood with Devin and in our house there in Tempe, and there was one right across the street that was a cop for ASU PD,
Hmm.
for ASU, and one day and his son Russell, we were good friends, and what, here I am 10, you know. Um, but I noticed his dad's uniform, and I go, "What are you a policeman? You know, are you a policeman?" And he goes, "Sure, yes I am." You know, and so he talked to me a little bit about being a cop, being a police officer.
Yeah.
You know, they don't like saying cops. You
Yeah.
know, I don't care,
Yeah.
but yeah, he was such a good dude for me, a good guy that with all those things that I did,
Yeah.
I had to say, I I think I gotta fix this stuff, you know. I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was kind of a good time
Yeah.
because I was at an age I think I was like 12
Sure. Okay.
where I could talk to him about it, and so I kept that in my mind the whole time as I was growing up that,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna be a cop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a
yeah.
police officer,
Yeah.
you know.
I think this
So
is the way I want to go. That's
Yeah.
cool.
yeah.
So you said you were about 12 when this kind of conversation happened and how you kind of met him and everything like that. Were you still a hooligan in the neighborhood, tormenting random kids on bikes, or when you like got into high school or anything like that, or
No, because once I learned that who he was, um, because he worked at ASU, he was a cop at ASU, and when we'd ride our bikes to the campus and stuff all the time, me and my brothers, and um, we'd go just trying to find mischief, you know,
Mhm.
whatever we could. And then I kind of realized, hey, I'm not doing things that I probably should be doing,
Yeah.
you know. And they, so that's how and he was such a good guy, and his
Yeah.
son was a good guy, and
Mhm.
so we moved just like not too far after that to Gilbert,
Sure.
um, and by that time I think I was eighth grade when we moved to Gilbert. I was in the eighth grade, and um, my first day at school at Gilbert. I don't know if you know those at the right there on Gilbert Road, the school that was there.
Mhm.
It's just an old time one, still there, but um, I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm walking out, and I'm just kind of standing there, and I go, I don't have any friends here. I don't know
Mhm.
anybody, you know. And then these kids come over, and they start talking to me, say, "Hey, who are you? Who you know? What's your name?" And they've been really cool to me, and I'm saying, oh, my name's Jerry, and I came from Tempe or whatever. And so I got to know those guys really well, and it became, a really good thing because to me, what I learned from them um, was, how to treat people,
Sure.
and in this particular case, they um, there was a guy there that I liked to hang out with too, but I didn't know what his religion was or anything. And anyway, he comes up and we're talking, and that's we don't talk about church at that time. We were in what were we Methodists
Mm-hmm.
at that time. Um, so we kind of got into and talk about you know different religions and that kind of thing, and um, he was really cool to me, and
And what was his name?
I can't remember.
Okay.
That's the one thing I couldn't remember. Um, but he was just a really good guy to me.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so you think, well, I can hang out with this guy,
Yeah.
So we did, and he was actually a year older than me. So because I got there, I was eighth grade, and no, so he must have been in the eighth grade with me.
Yeah.
So anyway, um, I got to take into his liking and how he treated people, and
Sure.
I go, hmm, I better not be saying bad things about people,
Really helped out with character development and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Very cool. And then you got into sports when you were in high school.
yeah. Well, I did it before we moved to Gilbert.
Okay.
We were in Mesa. I mean, we were in Tempe, and um, so I wanted to play. I wanted to play baseball more than I wanted to play football at the
Mhm.
time. And I wanted to catch. I wanted to play shortstop and do all that, which I ultimately did. I said, "Hey, I'm gonna mark myself on this thing and say I'm gonna be the person to that that we that we have on our team that that can stop every baseball play or
Mhm.
whatever." Found out that you couldn't, um, but yeah, so that was there in Mesa. I mean, in Tempe, and then we moved to Gilbert, and that was my eighth grade year in Gilbert, and I didn't know any of these people,
Yeah.
and so they were cool. They came up and they talked to me. Hey, so I told them I was from Tempe, and he said one of them says, well, hey, just to let you know, um, these people are Mormon. Um, and I go, what? What'd you say?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, they're Mormons. They
Mm-hmm.
think they're all cool, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, oh, I don't know if I want to hang out with these guys either. But so anyway, we stayed with each other because they were baseball players too
Yeah.
and football
Mhm.
players, and
All the athletes kind of hung out together.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hung out together. And um, so know what else you want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say that just like, the people that you were hanging out with was way different than the people from Tempe where it was kind of shaping you into a different direction of like, in Tempe you're hanging out with Devin and, shooting BB guns and, kind of doing a little different stuff. And then you met this cop and you were like, man, I kind of want to be a different person. And then you met this new group and then they could kind of just lead you to, almost like a new start, a fresh start where you could be who you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then going into high school, so leading into all that with the sports and everything like that, you kind of came up with all these guys and just these were your close friends and just went through high school together there, or did they go off in their separate ways, or kind of what kind of happened there?
Well, most of them were still Gilbertites
Okay.
because the town was small. I mean, when
Sure.
we first moved there, we had a big house and an acre and horses and that kind of
I
thing.
love that house too.
Yeah.
The red brick one right next to
Yeah.
Gilbert High School.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool house.
Yeah, it wasn't right next to Gilbert High. Oh well, you're talking about the new Gilbert High that was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Gilbert High that I went to
Is that the
was
junior high right now? Gilbert Junior High now, or
I don't
no
even think
Gilbert
Gilbert
Junior
Junior High is
High,
around.
and then uh, I graduated 8th grade,
Uh-huh.
and they had just built Gilbert High,
Oh, okay.
and it wasn't like a big one,
Yeah.
but we became ferocious. We played a lot of good football.
Yeah.
We were state champions, state champs in football and football and baseball.
Were you on the team that was state champ, or were you just
Yeah,
at
both
the?
of them. Yeah,
Yeah. What position were you in football?
I was as a safety, and then I was a running back, and then they also had me play quarterback.
Very cool.
Um, yeah.
could do it all.
Yeah, Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Just
What's
carrying
that?
you're a Renaissance man. Did it all. You just carried the team.
No, it's when, we had someone go down or whatever, I could take over. I wasn't interested in being the quarterback. I was interested in carrying that ball,
Yeah.
and
Now, do you remember Grandpa yelling at the games?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The bingo bango
Yeah,
bongo.
absolutely.
Yeah. Now
It's bingo bango bango time.
well, and as a teenager, like I know my guy is about to be a teenager, like right, and I know that just about everything I say or do is considered cringy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when Grandpa was yelling from the stands, "It's bingo bango bongo time," were you like rolling your eyes like, "Oh, there's my dad," or was it kind of a cool like,
Well,
"Hey, there's my dad"?
well, no one knew what bingo bango bungo meant.
Yeah.
And do you know what it means?
Wait,
He
Grandpa explained
explained it to
Oh,
us.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he explained it to me when I started saying, "What do you keep saying bingo bango bango for?" So then I started saying bingo bango bango.
Yeah.
But
He made it a thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're bringing things up about sports. I gotta say, um, I have. I should say that I had the best mom in the world.
Yeah.
Um, she wanted all of my friends to be in the house.
Yeah.
She didn't want me going out with
Uh-huh.
anybody. So that's why we always had these big parties there, everybody'd come over and but I bring that up because um in two different sports I played football and baseball. I got these awards
Huh?
and at football it was like, why am I getting these reward? What were well, you got the most yardage, or you made the most interceptions. So I'd get these awards, and then same thing with baseball. Which I ended up being better at than I was at football.
Uh-huh.
But it was just a cool thing that um, the guys that I hang out with there at Gilbert, we were all like just same buddies. There
Yeah.
isn't any, hey, let's try to, um, you know, let's try to do this, we'll do this. And I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, no, I'm a safety and I'm going to be a safety and I want to be a running back. And so, Coach Dunn?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I got some high.
You're good.
Good.
Contacts. You're
Yeah.
losing
I don't have contacts.
them. I'm trying to cover for you.
Oh, no.
Do you need a tissue or something?
Sting it.
You go
Yeah.
grab one. Or something.
No, I think it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway,
But Grandma would let all those guys come over to the house, hang out with you, and that was the place to hang out at.
this is a place to hang out
Yeah.
at, but it's also a place not to.
Oh yeah.
Well, because with the the championship, the state championship, when we won that, um, I was I can't remember the field that we were on, but it was in Phoenix for the state championship, and um, we hurrah, we got to get on the bus and do it. Yeah, we won. We got state champs. We had the big. So we get there, and I'm putting all my stuff in my big duffel bag of everything that because my mom washes them.
Yeah.
So um, I just remember that um, my mom had already told me and everybody else that come win or lose, we're gonna party at his house. And
Okay.
I hope we do, and I hope
Yeah.
it's on the other side. And so anyway, because she's party for, she just wants everybody to be
Yeah.
happy and be there, right?
Yeah.
So when I got my duffel bag, the what is it called? So when we won this championship, football championship, state championship, um, we're supposed to dump all our stuff in there. Well, in this one, the field we were at, it was pouring down rain
Okay.
during our state championship game, and it was water just everywhere. And so you're trying to get through it, and you're slipping and sliding, and you're falling in mud and everything else. And so anyway, we get home, and my mom and dad are all excited. They're getting everybody ready for the party, and
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there at, at the locker room, and I'm going, it's over, because I was a senior, Uh, So yeah, um, I'm sitting there with all my stuff, and I'm putting it in, and I'm going, I'm done,
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that my mom was supposed to pick me up, and she didn't. She forgot, and she was in there cooking.
Just
And
getting the party ready.
yeah, so I'm going, well, we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
So I said, well, okay, you go do your thing. And about that same time, I'm going, well, I'm not going to make her wash this stuff. I'll wash it.
Yeah.
So I carry my duffel bag with everything in it, helmet, everything, pads. And I get there, and my mom sees me, and she goes, oh no. She goes, I can't believe I didn't come pick you up. I go, you got everybody here.
Yeah.
No, let's have
No,
fun.
the party's happening, but she forgot to go get the main guy that it was all about at that moment.
Exactly. So she apologized.
Yeah.
That's just my mom,
Yeah. Yeah. She took care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Grandpa? What's a favorite memory you have of Grandpa?
Bingo Bango Bungo.
Bingo Bango Bongo.
Yeah, that's
So
huge.
it
Just
wore
getting hype in the crowd.
yeah. Well, and so it became like you started listening for it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You knew there's Dad. Dad's there cheering me on.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's very cool.
And I
Did
think
people in the
everybody-
school talk about Grandpa's Bingo
Oh, yeah.
Bingo Bongo?
Everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bingo Bango Bungo time.
I mean, they knew it when I was in high school too.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
like
sure.
I would be talking. My whole teammates knew. Oh, there's Jackson's grandpa up
Yeah.
in there. So I mean, it was a known
Yeah.
fact. So yeah, I understand that too. Um, but talking about you just graduated high school and everything. What's your next steps? Like, what do you do next? Do you go to college? Are you going straight into the police force? Like, kind of what's the next steps for you?
Yeah. So I went to college. But and I played at MCC, which we were like number 2 and 3 in the nation. That's how good
Oh.
we were.
Mhm.
Well, I ended up tearing my rotator as a catcher, and that's what I was.
Mhm.
And I couldn't throw anywhere near what I needed to.
Mhm.
And I'm pouting about my life's over.
Mhm.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just my first year. Well, I didn't go to the second year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this
Yeah.
because I wasn't able to do it. So um, I said, well, go to school. So I went back to college and decided to work hard and try to get the best I could out of it.
Yeah.
And um, I'll never forget. You know Fiesta Mall?
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. They just started tearing it down
Yeah,
recently.
well, yeah, it's been torn. Yeah, they're tearing it. They tore it down. I think it's
Yeah. Is it already
pretty
torn down?
leveled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but when I was there, it was building pieces of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So it became one of the big ones, you know. So anyway, um, me being now 20, 19, 20, you know, I had to find something to do besides just going to school. Um, I started working at Motorola again, and I was right across the street at the apartment complex, so I could just walk across the street and work there. Um, but um, I guess my thought on this whole thing is that um, I I kind of felt like I missed something. I missed because of, I don't know if you saw the
Yeah.
scar on it. Um, but you know, you miss it and you think, oh no, you know, never gonna live this thing down, you know. So um, I do remember that, you know, that actually happened in high school where I tore it, and then it still just didn't work it out. You know,
Yeah.
they put that screw in there and they took it out, and it wasn't anything. So I started working at the Motorola,
Okay.
my dad, and and I'd come across to my apartment there, and what am I gonna do today? You
Yeah.
know, because it was across the street, so
Yeah.
it was a good thing. Um,
And Motorola wasn't really speaking into, I want to do this the rest of my life
no,
for you. Yeah. Yeah.
no, they definitely don't want me over that.
Yeah. What did you do for Motorola? Do you even remember? Like what was your job there?
Yeah. So, do you know what these wafers are
Yeah.
that we
Kind of like
use?
a microchip type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's got microchips on the whole thing.
Sure.
Um, so yeah, you do that, but then, you know, if you screw it up by not giving it the sauce that it needs to be dripped on there, and just
Mhm.
kind of, then they start going after you,
Mhm.
which they didn't come after me because they knew my dad was the boss. So, but I kind of thought I screwed up a few of those.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, when I was living in that apartment, my mom thought I wasn't ever gonna,
That wasn't your jam.
yeah, we're gonna be a girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay.
Just, you know, you're not gonna have a girlfriend.
Uh,
So my mom was worried about me, and so she came and got me and says, "Well, let's go Christmas shopping," you know. So I said, "Mom, I'm fine. I'm fine." And
yeah.
she wanted to think that I was fine, but um, she didn't think I was fine.
Okay.
And um, so anyway, we're walking down Fiesta Mall and going through it, and because it's two stories and everything, and so we're going up the escalators and then back down, and I keep thinking, why is she doing this? You
Yeah.
know what? And you know, it comes back to the fact that she was worried about me,
Mm.
and I'm going, why would she do this? You know?
Mm.
And so anyway, she goes, let's go to the what's it called where you eat?
The food
Oh, the
court.
food court?
Yeah, the food court. So we're sitting over there in the food court, and I'm talking to my mom, and everything's cool. And then I look over and I see this girl walk in, and I go, "Mom, look at that girl over there." And she goes, "Where, where?" And I said, "Right over there." who's that dude with her, you know?
Mhm.
And she goes, oh, you wouldn't even ask her out. And you know what I said? That's the girl I'm going to marry.
Oof. Challenge accepted.
And I got her.
Yeah, rest is history, huh?
Yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been married now? You and Vanessa?
Oh, boy.
Oh, see, now I hit him with the
Yeah.
hard questions.
How old's Jamie? So I think 48, I think.
Yeah,
48 years,
48
49
years.
years. Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
how did that first interaction go? Like, do you remember that? Did you just walk straight up to her and just
Yeah.
start
So,
talking to her, or what?
no, I was scared. I saw her come in with that guy, and she goes and gets the table right by us. She's just staying there, and he's gonna go get the food, and he comes over, and um, I'm just kind of watching it at first, but she had a name tag, so
So you
so
cheated.
yeah. Yeah, well, he was done and he left, and then she had walked back down to uh, the card place. What's it called? The to go in and get cards.
Hallmark?
Hallmark.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So she worked in there,
Okay.
and um, it's funny because here I am stalking somebody.
Yeah.
So I told my mom. I said, Mom, that's the girl I'm gonna marry. And she goes, you wouldn't even call her up and talk to her. And I
Uh,
go, that's the girl I'm gonna marry, Mom.
yeah.
And so we walked. I had her walk with me when I said, well, I'm gonna watch where she goes to her store. And so we go down to the bottom floor, and my yeah, so my mom's there, and I see her with the guy. That they don't hold hands, they don't kiss. They just kind of turn and walk away. And I already told Mom that that's
That's
the girl
it.
I'm going to marry, right? And so I said so I had to come up with a plan to see if she'd go out with me. Well, at the same time, I'm I'm registered into school to where's
Channel
Or
MCC.
MCC.
MCC, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it's
MCC.
called. I almost said MCU. I was like Marvel
No.
Cinematic Universe. No.
So yeah, at MCC. So so what happens is that um I'm uh I went down to the mall, and no, not the mall, to no, I was in at MCC for my first day,
Okay.
and all I wanted to do was take psychology,
Sure.
and that was one where Scott was with me, so he was in the same room or same place, so they kind of teared up.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So when people came in, you could see them come in. And it's like this big room,
Yeah.
and
A
and
lecture hall kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, and so I'm just sitting there because um, Scott says to me, "Hey, I'm not sure, but I I think that girl by the name of um, who, um, 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 what's her name? Um, Casto. That was what her name was. Uh, um, so I had to try to come back and say, I don't remember what her name was.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, and so I said, well, I'll come up with it. And um, I'm gonna, I'm gonna ask her to marry me. I
Yeah.
didn't say that, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask her to go out with me. So she walks in, and everybody in the class knows her.
Oh,
Everybody. She's just,
that
she's just,
sounds right.
Sounds like Aunt
Yeah.
Vanessa.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say that sounds so
yeah,
accurate.
yeah. So, yeah, so she was really cool
Yeah.
about the whole thing. But when she comes in, everybody's going, so they all, like my brother, I go, I'm just sitting there. I don't know that she's going to be walking in. And so she walks in, and then these other girls are saying, that's it. cast out, and I'm going, oh man, I'm gonna have a battle between all these people. So anyway, I said, now I'm gonna find out where she works at, and it's so Vanessa worked at Hallmark of Cards, and then
Yeah.
she moved to Sears Tuxedo Rental,
Okay.
and so yeah, so that's when I walked in there uh, on purpose. But I kind of walked around, and she's in the tuxedo rental place. So I'm walking through, and I'm looking at things, and she says, "Hey, can I help you?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I was looking for." She goes, "Well, what's the occasion for?" And she said, I can't remember what the occasion was. It was for some party or something. And so she starts to help pick out the
Outfits.
clothes.
Yeah.
And she knew everything that I wanted I wanted to have. And so she goes, "Well, this would be really nice. It'd be really nice." So that's that's kind of where we kind of got to know each other a little
Yeah,
bit.
broke the ice a little bit.
Yeah. So I go back in and find out if, she's legit. Yeah, she's
Mhm.
legit. So anyway, um, we I don't remember the rest how we Vanessa knows better than I do, but how I approached her and oh no, yeah. So here's it. This is it. So we hung out for our first date,
Mhm.
and I don't remember exactly. Oh, we went to it was a ice cream place right there by Fiesta Mall at the time before they ripped it down. Um, and so I'm sitting there next to her, and I said, we were talking about different things, and I said, Vanessa, would you marry me? And she looks at me. She goes, yes.
Wow.
I'm going, well, that was pretty easy.
Kind
Well, I
of
think what
psyched yourself
she,
out more than
uh,
anything else. Yeah.
I will say this that I think that um, she had the worst life growing up, absolutely the worst.
Yeah.
She told me everything that went on
Yeah.
with her, and I felt horrible for
Yeah.
her. And he he left, not not the real one, yeah, not the
Yeah.
her real dad. Her
Yeah.
real dad passed away, um, but yeah, this guy married Vanessa's mom, and then Vanessa's mom. I don't know how she stayed with this dude,
Yeah.
but um, anyway, I know because
Yeah.
he found out that I was it was me that was making all these comments about why would you be hanging, and so I think everything was kind of dropped there where
Sure.
so that's how it got started there,
Okay.
and then we went. Yeah, just we I can't remember. We only had like 2 or 3 dates.
Yeah. Before you proposed.
Yeah, no, I proposed first.
Oh, you proposed
Yeah.
on the
Then
first
Would
date?
you marry me? Yeah.
Wow.
I thought
All
maybe
right.
she'll do
The
it.
two or three, and then we're ready to
ready to
roll.
rock and
And that's
roll.
Now,
when
how long was it before you guys had Jamie?
then we had Jamie. Well, first of all, let me go back to
Okay.
Vanessa. When I said, would you, I can't remember how we set it up, how I set it up, but it was kind of we were sitting there just drinking our sodas and stuff, and then I looked at Vanessa and I said, Vanessa, and she goes, yeah. And she's always like,
Mm-hmm.
and I go, would you marry me? And she goes, yes. I'm
On a
going,
first date.
Well, she went with a lot of people before because
Well, but on a
that
first
Mountain
date
Did it
Dew.
with
with
you,
you, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
first date
Yeah,
with you, that's pretty wild, man. And 40 some odd years later, and things are still going strong. That's not a lot of people have that. That's pretty awesome, dude.
but you know what I tell people?
Hmm.
Vanessa's blind and deaf. every time they go, "Oh, what's your husband?" I go, "That's my wife. She's blind and deaf."
Uh,
Well,
well, I think we want to fast forward a little bit right here and just
Okay.
talk about more of the family life. But like with you becoming a dad and then a grandfather too, and just kind of a lot of our members in the family are dads or soon to be dads and soon to be grandfathers. So we just kind of want your advice on that and kind of best memories, best stories, anything you want to take that to.
like, what was it like being a dad when you first found out I'm going to be a dad? What was that like for you?
Um, I'm gonna say it was a shocker,
Yeah,
but I was happy about it.
yeah,
I mean, I couldn't have been ever any prouder, having somebody like Jamie,
yeah,
and phew, he's my best friend,
yeah,
So, and Vanessa she was so happy too because she knew that I wanted a boy,
yeah.
and not that I would have taken a female, a
Sure,
girl,
right.
but yeah, it was pretty cool the way that went down,
Do you have
and
a favorite moment, or like, I wouldn't say your proudest moment because there's probably so many to try to narrow down, but what is one that kind of sticks out to you,
in reference to our
to
marriage,
Jamie, or your
oh,
marriage?
for
Yeah,
Jamie,
but yeah, for Jamie, yeah,
um,
something that you're proud about with him.
there's so many things.
Yeah,
I mean, I, I can't tell you the amount of times I've been proud of him.
yeah,
Um, I just know with Jamie, um, he would he would do anything for anybody,
yeah,
and um, we were I don't know I think we were talking one day, and we brought up how this all came to be, how he's our son, and that sort of thing, and he just he just says a lot of nice things,
yeah,
and it's not something I put in his mouth
sure,
either, because he loves his mom
yeah,
too. So that's tough because he's got a big heart.
yeah. Well, and that might get too much in the weeds. Like, we're only supposed to be like a 45-minute podcast if I had you go through every single one of the kids,
Oh
right? But
yeah.
do you have a favorite memory of the family, like a favorite vacation you guys went on, or a core memory that you have from, that involved the whole your all your kids and Vanessa and everybody, like something that really stands out to you there?
Yeah, I think we've been on some pretty cool vacations. We went on, ship out in the oceans
Hmm.
and um, finding a really good um, hotel or apartment, I would say, that's right on the beach to where our kids could, run out.
Yeah,
So they got a big kick out of that. And, that they're all like afraid of, oh, is there sharks right here?
yeah, yeah.
Come on.
Always a shark.
Yeah, it's a trend.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I got it. I'll bite his head off.
And what was different about becoming a grandfather than, being from being a dad to all of a sudden now I'm a grandpa? What's different about that for you?
Um, it always changes. I
Yeah,
mean, it always changes for the better. I
yeah,
mean, if you're a good dad, you're going to be, treating your kids, you know, like they should be treated. And sometimes they make mistakes, and
sure.
and what I like about how we as a as parents um, dealt with issues that shouldn't have happened or whatever. Um, Vanessa and I like to make sure we're communicating right together. Um, bef- before we make any statements,
Mhm.
and saying, you did what you did was wrong, and you understand you're going to be punished, and that kind of thing, instead of saying, we're going to beat you,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no, but I mean, think that think um uh yeah, I'm going to say Kenzie, because she's really squared away,
Mhm.
and so's Taya. I mean,
Yeah.
Taya's girl, so's Raya,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. They've all got it squared away, and they got good companions, and
Mhm.
um, so yeah. And I tell them
Yeah.
I'm proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, we do need to wrap up.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm bring it in for Lenny. Why don't you?
Yeah, so we kind of always end our podcast with this one question, and we just want you to imagine that the whole family is here with us today, and just what would you want to tell the family? Like what's kind of your lasting legacy, or just anything you want to say to them? Go right ahead. The floor is yours.
Um. Well, first of all, I don't want these hearing aids in.
Mm-hmm.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But that's comes when you decide you want to go to Iraq,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of where I got screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
Not with uh these, but just the fact that yeah, it was like pretty bang to you when you do it. So anyway, I say what you said again.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Pretend the whole family is in the room with us right now, and you could say one thing to them, and everybody's just listening. You could say whatever you wanted to the family, and just what would you want to be remembered as, or what is the legacy of Jerry Gissel?
That's interesting. There's going to be ups and downs there.
Sure. Sure.
So, and I'll say this, that um, Jamie's like my best friend.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's a good guy.
No. Anyway, he's solid,
Yeah.
and I can't tell you how much I think of him as a grown man
Mm-hmm.
when I think he's my kid, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So the and I'll be honest with you. If you ask me about all my kids, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I know.
So Kenzie's unbelievable. She's got the stand studios going, Pilates classes. She's got Max. She's got two great kids. Um, then we have Matea, who's awesome. Do anything for anybody.
Yeah. Big
Got
heart.
great kids.
Yeah.
Got a great husband. And then Mariah. She, she's got a great husband. Got a great family. Great kids. Um, so, and I wouldn't have them change anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
And
thank you. Yeah. Thanks for coming and doing this for us and getting to shout out, the family. And we just really appreciate you coming by and letting us do this with you. But yeah, you got anything there?
this won't be the end. I mean, there
Yeah.
to talk about life stories and family legacy and things like that. We'll circle back around. I'll be honest. This is our third one now, and I feel like every time we leave, I always feel like I got to learn more about you that I've never known. I'm in my 40s now, and there's so much about each one of you guys that I'd like to know more. And so there's always questions that I have after we're done. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, why didn't we ask this? And man, why didn't we ask that? There's so much more. There's layers to who you are. And I'm just so grateful that I get to call you uncle, that we're
Yeah.
family. And we love you very much. And, in the end, I do feel like we all need to stay in touch better. We need to
I
hang out
totally agree with you.
and all that. But thank you so much. And thank you for everybody that are watching that got to hear the story of Jerry Gissel. A special shout out and thank you to Podcastle Studios. They have an amazing place. If you want to make a podcast, if you want to be able to share stories, we highly encourage you to look up Podcastle Studios in Gilbert, Arizona. They've got an amazing facility, great people to work with, and they make the whole process super chill and easy for you. So thank you again to everybody that's watching. Thanks for doing this with me, man.
Yeah. It was
Thank
fun.
you.
Thank you for having us or coming with us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you. And this was Bingo Bango Bongo.
Have a great one.